The following program is a production of Robert O'Neill Enterprises and does not necessarily reflect the views of the Late Night Grin, its subsidiaries, or tonight's guests.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to the premiere of 31 with Robert O'Neill. I know. It's been a long time coming, but finally, it's here. My very own talk show. Indeed, the 31 with Robert O'Neill is the latest weekly show on this very platform. And I'm telling you, folks, I'll soon be on more weekly shows than the Good Brothers at this rate. Speaking of those guys, I actually call them the Bad Brothers. The Bad Brothers. Speaking of bad, though, how about Sasha and Naomi, huh? I mean, I don't really blame them. To be frank with you, I threatened to walk out on Joel Hobart every other day. That's actually how I got this show. I'm telling you, once Oracle learns leverage, he's going to be on here every single night talking to you about WCW. Speaking of WCW, what's all this about Ric Flair? He's been in the news a lot lately. It's really insane if you ask me. I mean, if you haven't been following, Flair's heading back to the ring for one last match again. And worse yet, there's even rumors that it's going to be against the immortal Hulk Hogan. I actually call him the immoral Hulk Hogan. Seriously though, Ric Flair wrestling in 2022, it's crazy. I mean, Flair's so old that he wrestled Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish, man, there's a character. They don't make him like that anymore. Real man's man. You wouldn't see Bobby Fish on social media these days. No way. He's too busy slamming cold ones with Harley Race. I will say, though, that AEW roster they got going, a lot of talent there, regardless of my political preferences. Especially the women's division, though. It's come a long way. You look at someone like Ruby Soho. What a star. I'll say this, though. Destination Unknown, hardly. Her destination is Dynamite every Wednesday on TBS. It's like the song says. Dynamite. I pretend to watch Dynamite every week, but never actually do. And soon enough, you're going to be doing that with this exact show. I get it, though. I'm self-aware to the general response, and honestly, you're not alone. To be frank, my own response wasn't that dissimilar. Never going to forget it. Shoot came to me. He said, hey, we're giving you your own show. It's going to be this whole big production. It's great. It's going to really elevate the channel. You know what I told him? Looked right at him. I said, sorry to hear that. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back. We are here with Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful, first guest on the 31 with Robert O'Neill. Sean, we have a lot to get into. There's the MJF situation. There's our personal history. But first, how did you get into wrestling media?
I always wanted to be a writer. If you look back at my high school yearbook, says I wanted to be a sports writer, but I like performing. I liked sports. So it would have been sports writing in some degree, but the sport that I happened to pick up when I got a little bit older was MMA. I felt like I was too small to be a pro wrestler. I still trained in it because I loved it an awful lot. But MMA was sort of that first thing that I could actively compete in. But injuries mounted up, and I did not want to be a guy that had a bunch of concussions by the time I was in my mid-20s. So I was like, you know what? I'll start to cover it. I'll start to write about it. But I was like, well, while I'm doing that, I'll write about pro wrestling. I've got a little bit unique experience. I've been able to train and things like that. I went to college for it as well, studied communications, then multimedia journalism, then convergent media. And I hit up Bill Apter, who was a guy that I had read a lot of his stuff from back in the day, the 90s. And I said, hey, I'd like to write for you. It's a personal goal of mine. And it was pro bono, so to speak, but it opened a lot of doors for me. And I'll always remember that. But that's pretty much the long and short of it, if you want to ask how I got my first job effectively.
Now, I'm actually hearing that we are out of time. The monologue went too long. Really appreciate you coming on, Sean, and we'll see you next time, everyone.